Welcome to tonight's broadcast. We will be featuring race 2 of the inaugural Tuesday night touring car series. And what I mean by we is I will be joined by the director, organizer, founder of 3G Motorsports, and the guy who's responsible for bringing together the Wednesday night race car series and now the Tuesday night touring car series. So we're going to get him in here and we're going to comment on this pretty awesome race we had the other night. Evening.
Evening, Bert. How you doing tonight?
Pretty good. How about yourself?
Oh, it was an exciting couple nights of racing. Back to back. It was a lot of fun, though.
Well, I'm going to get this race going and then we can keep talking about. As you can see, it was a nice full lobby.
Yeah, this was race 2, so the grid was not inverted. This was basically how the field finished at the end of the first race. The big difference here is that you've got people that are on different tire compounds. You've got people that are on race hards and race softs, and caught a lot of people, including myself, a little off guard at times. The braking distances were drastically different, and so. But this race, it was a relatively good start. People were patient, but there was a lot of jostling for position as the guys on softs were trying to make their way through, especially if they were towards the back of the grid.
Yeah. Speaking of the difference in tires, I noticed that because you were racing with mixed tire people, you said the braking points were so different, and so you had to really drastically change your line too.
Yeah.
Because you know when they're braking so far away from the turn, they're on kind of a different angle, and you're trying to come in hard into the corner and hit the same apex, you know, but you're coming in at different lines. You know, you can't follow them. You got to be off side of them.
Yep. Especially the first couple laps. Once the first couple laps get through and you get settled out between who's on race hards and softs, you can definitely tell. Plus, as you're coming up on the car behind, you have a pretty good idea of what tires they're on based on their braking and how much the differential in speeds, especially on fresh tires. Those softs are super grippy.
Yeah, and the hards aren't.
Yes.
Yeah.
So, Bert, what happened to you on this in the early part of this race? It looked like you were up towards the front. Did you have a small excursion out into the dirt?
Well, if you check the replay, you can see I'm only getting like half a brake. My brakes on my pedals are giving me fits, and they're very inconsistent. Sometimes I'll get the whole brake. You know, I've got a dial. I change the dial on my pressure and stuff, and I'll get it to where I get 100%. But there's other times where I'm racing at the same time, you know, doing the same race, but all of a sudden my pressure will drop, where I can mash it just as hard as I'll put a hole in the bottom of my foot trying to brake, and I'm only getting 50%. So, yeah. That's what happens. So I'm kind of inconsistent on my braking points. It's hard for me to be consistent right now until I figure out how to overcome this.
Gotcha. Yeah, looking at the live timing feed, it looks like the top 6 cars, they're all on softs at this point. So we're all just trying to get through these softs with the very fast fuel load and tire wear setting. These tires fall off quick to the point that they're going to be pretty much shot at about the 10-minute mark. If you try to go longer than that, it could get real interesting. And it looks like both you and Arrow are on race hards at this point, so the braking distance should be pretty smooth. Like I said, it took a couple laps to get through the chaos. Race 3 was even a little bit more chaotic because the grid was inverted. for race 3 with the same kind of combination, because one of the requirements for the series is you have to not only do you have to change tires throughout the race between race hard and race soft, you also can't start all 3 races on the same compound. You have to start at least 1 race on hards and at least 1 race on softs. So everyone, for the most part, I think the top 12 drivers out of qualifying were on race softs, and everyone in the last 4 were on hards. So the first race was pretty straightforward. It was these second 2 races where the compounds really got mixed up. At this point, Vovik, though, has really just checked out on the field on first place. But the battle between Warden, Z, Parcells, and Tapout were starting to heat up with the 4 of them. And I was in pure chase mode at this point, trying to chase those guys down.
Yeah, these 4 guys had a good one going too. Desert Penguin.
Yep.
Grandpa Money, West, and Cape. Cape's always consistent and he's quick. He's fun to race with because he's patient.
And you've got a mix of 4 tire compounds in this group too. You've got Desert on race hards, Grandpa, who's new to the series. I've raced with him on Sunday and is a really quality driver as well. He's on softs. Cape again is on race softs, and then Westroad, who is also new to the series, he's on race hards. So this is a very interesting challenge, trying to get through it. And at this point, at 4 laps into it, those guys that are on race softs, their tires are starting to give out on them a little bit. They're not as fresh as they were, and they probably only have about 3 laps left before they're going to have to start making pits. And then DP is doing everything he can to hold off Cape at this point, who's on the softer compound.
Yeah, he's
as you can tell, he's going a little bit wider right there. The breaking point. It
here,
looks like
here comes
Cape
the pass right here
on the outside. I found that a lot. The guys that were on the softs, I saw a lot of people making outside passes just like that. Because they could hold that line.
Yeah, they could hold it, but that's what you were giving them anyway. I mean, if you were on hard, you had to take the inside line. You couldn't really get out there, because if you got out there, you really had to slow. Otherwise, you push and go to come off the road, you know?
Right.
I know I had a lot of offs. That all-wheel drive just killed me. You know, and the inconsistency, not being able to brake all the way, it's been killing me lately. I wish I could figure this out, but I don't know. I don't want to take them apart again.
But it looks like Desert at this point is the fast qualifier of the race hards. By now, the top 8 positions are all on race softs. There's still a heck of a battle going on between Warden, Z, and Parcells at this point.
Oh, I know.
And again, you can see their tires are down to 5.
Yeah, they're pushing it.
Yep. And they were like this, if I'm not mistaken. They were like this throughout through quite a bit of the race. And all 3 of them. Warden has really stepped up his game over the last couple seasons, especially in these type of cars. I mean, he's doing a great job holding the line, and Z is doing everything he can. And you and I have both raced against Parcells. And,
he always does pretty good. But Z has been really stepping up his game. He had a heck of a race last night with who did he run with?
He was up there with
KG.
No, he was up there with KG and Vovik.
That last race, him and KG.
Yeah, which we'll talk about here in a little bit. Yeah. It's funny whenever I get behind, whenever I'm coming up on Parcells, in past races and even in this race, he will not give up the fight.
Ooh, looked like a little lag there. Huh?
Looks like it. Wow. Yeah, there was a period. Now I was thinking about it. Back in the comments, there was about a 3/4 of a lap where Z was lagging, and this was during that time frame. I could see it from my vantage point on the red car just coming into view here shortly. And it was about, I think it was coming up on the backstretch before he finally settled out. So it wasn't a long lag that lasted, but he was in it.
Ooh, tap out, man. You know what? Tap out was good for coming in hard on that turn right there.
Yep.
Yeah, he would come in. I mean, he'd make it tight and make it stick, but boy, he could come in. He really made up a lot of time for
yeah.
Back there in that turn.
And he, as you can see, he was all over me. Trust me, I knew he was there.
Oh yeah, he's tight. He's tight to you. Yeah, he had a pretty good race. He's pretty quick.
Yep. And I think I was the first to make the dart into pit road. My tires were pretty well shot at this point.
Yeah. I see a lot of people following you. Whenever you go in, boy, they go in. And I refuse to do that. I refuse to do that.
You got to look at how, when you're making your pit stop, when you're coming up to make your pits, and at least this is my thought process anyways, who's in front of me, and who could be pitting on the same pit cycle as I am. Whether or not I'll pit a lap early, pit on schedule, or pit a lap late. Because as you're going through pit road, you could get caught up with those slowdowns as guys are coming in and out of the pits. And you could lose a lot of time. So at least from my standpoint, I'm looking to see, and I saw that the pit lane was going to be open, so I was going to have a clean shot in and out of the pits without having to deal with any cars. So I probably could have gone one more lap, but like I said, I decided to get in and get out. And as you can see, this is where all the guys on softs are going to have to make a stop at this point. Because it just you're losing way much time.
Yeah, tap outs all over me. I'm still on race hards.
Yeah.
And he's just pitted and got fresh race softs.
Yeah,
so
he must have taken on
how
more
much
fuel. Yep.
Much faster it is, you know.
Yeah, because you're on partially worn parts at that point.
Yeah.
And you've got a good line out of that corner to set up for the nice clean pass. And what was nice is you didn't lose any ground either.
Yep, no, I didn't.
But yeah, now you can see pit lane's getting real busy right about now. All the guys that are on softs have died in. The only one that hadn't at this point is Warden. And I'm not sure what his tires are at, but they had to have been pretty low at this point.
No, I'm on. Oh, yeah. 1 and 4.
One in the front, and it's just, he's crawling around these corners through these S's right through here. Especially on the left-handers.
Left one, yeah. Yeah, that's very difficult.
Yep. And this may have hurt him. He may have lost too much time on that lap. Trying to make those tires stretch one more, because it gets to the point where you're losing more time than you would if you just take on hards. But we'll see how he comes out.
Penguin's still on hards.
Yeah. Penguin, Centaurs, West, they're all on race hards, leader of the group, and then you got Vovik, which is the first of the guys that were on softs that have now jumped onto race hards. And race hards, you could probably get about 15 minutes out of them before you... Was that West? Yeah.
Yeah, West, and Vovik's right behind him in the fresh tires. But he's...
No, they're both... Oh, Vovik, Vovik's on race hards. But
but
fresh.
He's got fresh, yeah.
Yep.
So he had a hard
he's
time.
quick. Yeah, Vovik is one of the heavy favorites for the season championship. He won the season championship in the RCS last season, and the man is quick. Although there's a newcomer into the series, Westroads, that is also has shown some some speed. In fact, he won the third race of the night and was one of the top qualifiers. And so he'll definitely be pushing Vic for the championship in this one.
Yeah, I think the other guys have, having the 3 races and having the inverted field, there's some pretty, consistent fast guys that makes it difficult for even the fastest guys to make it through the field.
Yep.
And then kick in the tire wear and the change of tires situation. And it makes it a little interesting for them even,
Yeah.
which I think they like.
Yeah, because you can't just go with this tire wear setting in these tires and this car especially. You just can't go bonsai on the track. You got to really watch your tire wear and make sure that you're not oversliding on the brakes, that you're not abusing those left front or those front tires, because in this car those front tires are key. Another new driver to the series is Centaurs, who is also, I've raced with him a couple times in a couple of practice sessions, and it's funny, I look at some of his qualification times and they seem a little off, but when you get up and you start racing with him, I mean, he won't give up. He won't give up the fight.
No, that's what I was going to say.
So.
He's tenacious.
Yeah. He's a better racer. It's almost, a lot of people are really good qualifiers, but are a little bit uneasy when they get into a tight bunch of cars. I was in that position when in my earlier parts of racing well, but with Sin, it's almost the opposite. He just loves to get into the mix of things, and will fight you really cleanly. So.
Oh yeah. He makes you work. If you're fast,
yep.
He's going like, okay, you're fast, but you're going to have a heck of a time passing me.
Yep.
Yeah, that's good. But, he also gives you a little room too, so
yeah.
if you can do it, if you can take advantage of it, you can get by.
Yep. And that's one of the nice things I like about all these guys that we've got in the series. Most of us have raced against each other a number of times, and we know how each other's characteristics are, and have got really good racecraft awareness as far as when there's cars around you.
Yeah, given room to race in tandem.
Yep.
Side by side, going
through
turn after turn.
Yeah, you might want to head up towards the like in the second, third place area, like up around Parcells. It's going to get real interesting here pretty soon. In fact, if you can go back...
Vovic's already got back to the front, huh?
Yeah, Vovic had checked out on it. The battle for second place is going to start to heat up. Like I said, all of us are on race hards at this point, with the exception of Desert Penguin. I believe DP is on race softs. It's going to get real interesting. Here right now we have Z and Tap Out deciding to battle it out, and then right in front of them is Parcells and myself.
Yeah, and they're coming up on you too.
Yeah.
So you're going to have a four-way battle here.
Yeah. Parcells actually had it off going into turn 1, I think it was.
Yeah, I seen the smoke.
Yeah. And if this is classic Parcells, he will not.
Door to door.
Oh, it stays this way.
He, you know what? He thinks the line a couple ahead too, so he's trying to,
And I'm seeing the other two cars coming up behind us, and I'm sitting there going, I gotta get around, and we're still door to door. The bad thing about it is that it's bringing the other two guys up.
Yep.
As you can see, when you go side by side that long.
Yeah, look at him go. And he did not want to cough it up, does he? He don't want to cough it up.
No.
He's going like, damn, Grim.
And here he goes again.
Yep, I'm coming to the inside. You better give me room. I got overlap.
He did. We both went a little bit wide,
ugly.
and like I said,
now they're all over you.
Yep. And Parcells is still not wanting to give it up. And the thing is that Z is sitting back there seeing what's happening and realizing that there's not a whole lot that he's going to be able to do, and he's got tap out right behind him.
Is that, say, 6 on your tires already?
Yes.
On race hards? Wow.
On race hards.
Yes.
I pushed really hard to get in front of Parcells.
Yeah. Yeah, these guys, all of them got better tires than you, buddy.
Yep. Yes, I know.
You wore yours out already.
Well, yeah, remember, I pitted, tap out myself into the lap early. Yeah.
Okay, that's why tap out's almost at yours.
Yep.
The other two guys got better tires.
And protecting that inside line, I knew Parcells was consistently liking that outside line on that corner just when I was following him. So
Z's got it.
Z's. And that's part of the problem with these cars is that if you're too close coming out of if you're a little too close coming out of that last corner, you're not gonna get the draft. You actually want to have a little bit of space between you and the car in front of you, so you can get that draft and make a difference. But Z's in such a bad spot here because he's got tap out right behind him, so he can't lag back a little bit to get the draft.
Look at the way tap out goes into that.
Z's not going to give it up though.
He like slows just a little bit and gets his car under control and gets that angle to the inside apex, and then he lets it roll deep into it, and then slows down right. Yeah.
Z was able to make. He was able to make the pass.
Yeah, he did.
That pass takes a couple corners because you go into that right-hander side by side, and you got the big sweeping right-hander again. So you can be on the outside, but usually you got to wait until you get to the sharp left-hander before you can make that work. And again,
well, Parcells is tenacious, isn't he?
As you can see, lurking in the background, let's not forget DP is sitting back there in 7th place, so it's going to get. Remember, he's on race softs.
I see them back there as you guys were coming down the straight. I see Grandpa back there. And they were. It seems like they were making a little time.
Yeah, and he's only about 6 seconds back right now. At the 22 mark, he's only 6 seconds. Well, I should say he is 6 seconds.
Look at that again. Another deep move.
But again, Parcells is really.
Yeah, he carried some decent speed, but look at tap out. Tap out's going to get him, isn't he? Oh, he sure is. With that off, he took the position.
Yeah, he took the position. Parcells.
But he had good lines, man. Tap out's running good. He's fast.
Yep. And I was seeing this in my rearview mirror, and I was actually glad to see it because it allowed me to get a little bit of space, a little bit of breathing room.
Yeah, there's DP, and Jordan's right back there behind him.
And DP is a good 2 seconds faster than us. That's what's amazing in the difference in the two tires. It's a good 2 seconds differential between race offs and race hards. It seemed like Z and Parcells were constantly at each other all night. If I remember correctly, in all 3 races, they were pretty close. Actually, so in race 1 they finished 5th and 4th. In race 3 they were 4th and 6th, and I won't say how they did in this race. So they were in constant contact all night long. Grandpa is also closing in on the mix.
Yeah.
And actually, they're there.
Now,
So now you've got, there's the top 2nd through 7th place. And there's going to be a Vovik should be coming to take the white flag anytime now. So
yeah, he's done checked out.
Yeah. And for a 25-minute race to have this many cars in contact with each other, with all the different fuel strategy and pit stop, this is probably one of the I mean, you and I and Z and Ward, we did a lot of testing when we were working out the details on this, and we knew it was going to be close, but I didn't think it was going to be this kind of close. As you see, the white flag just came out.
Yeah, it's funny how the different tire compounds, boy, when you come to the end, what an amazing swing it can be.
Now, the only saving grace was that DP's softs were starting to give out on him. You can see he's down to 3 and 6 on his fronts.
Yeah.
But they're still faster than our race hards that were.
What, 6, 5?
No, I think I was probably down to 4s, even 3s. I think.
Yeah, you just turned to 3.
Yep.
Of course, tap out's working yet, so.
Yeah, and this is the last lap, so.
Yeah.
I'm not going to give an inch, but it was nice and clean. That was a fun corner right there, trying to hold that line.
I'd say. Woo, look at this.
Yeah, there's DP. Yeah. And I'm going to become one with the white line on the right-hand side.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, hug that.
I am not going to let anybody get inside.
Nobody get underneath it. Ooh,
but yeah, you can see just how close.
That was great.
I mean, just an insane battle at the end. Had that gone one more lap, DP would have had us. And then you've got, looks like Arrow and Log. Oh, is he going to get him?
Yeah. And I followed him out there too.
The dirt as well.
I followed him out there. And somebody ran out of fuel.
Yep.
Sin.
Yeah.
Out of fuel. And Goofy,
Yeah, Goofy had a rough night with this car.
Yeah.
This was definitely not his night. He did much better in the race car series, which we'll see a little bit later. But this was a rough night for him.
Yeah, definitely. I felt his pain because, man, I don't know how many offs I had. I was out in the dirt a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah, my brakes were giving me problems, but man, the braking points when you have brake problems, the braking points on those cars on race hards is incredible.
Yep. Yeah, Vovik won that race by 12 seconds. In that race, so.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was a good race. Looking at the standings.
Let's see. There's the All-Star race.
That's the RCS.
Is that the standings?
No, you want to go to the blue one for the standings.
Okay.
There you go. You can see one of the features with both this and the race car series, for those that are not familiar with it, is those that finish in the top 10 in points don't have to go through what's known as a knockout qualifying session, which makes it so that they're already locked into the field of 16. And so even though you don't win the race, there's still a lot of pressure to be in that top 10. Going through KOQ is not something that is for the faint of heart sometimes. But there's some interesting names in the top 10. DP, Desert Penguin, this was his first time being in the top 10 in either series, so he doesn't have to go through knockout qualifying. Grandpa's Money, who's new to the series, won't have to go through it. Both of them had to this past week. And then Parcells having that nice, solid, consistent finishes all night with the fifth place, and then the 4th place in the last race. Vovik won the first 2. Westroads was able to take the checker flag in race 3, and so Vovik is off to a good start in the standings.
Of course.
It's going to be a battle though for second or third place. If you look at it, myself, Parcells, and Z, all right there within a couple points of each other. And then the battle for 10th place is going to be real interesting this season. Looks like you squeaked in by 1 point, and you're going to have some people nipping at your heels. So
yeah, I know. I got to get my brakes under control and get a little more practice in. I can tell you that. But I got to practice for both series.
Yeah. How do you like going through knockout qualifying?
I don't. It's stressful. It's fun, but it's stressful.
It's stressful.
Yeah. I'm glad that, if there's 6 or 7 places open, that there's not like 14 people in knockout qualifying, that there's usually only 8 or 9 maybe, so you only got maybe 2 that won't make it. You start looking at the names. Well, sometimes you see Vovik's name in there. You're going like, how come he's in knockout qualifying? That ain't right,
Well, he's only had to do it once. He had to do it tonight or for the start of this race because it was the first week of the season, and then his rookie season he had to start off. But yeah, there are some D1 guys because they don't race frequently that will pop into that race, and that's kind of what's nice about both these features that I'm really happy. To about 25 to 27 active drivers, knowing that people aren't going to be able to make every race. But what this does allow is to ensure that we have full grids every week. If I just said, okay, 16 drivers and left it at that, well, if you have something that happens and 5 drivers don't show up because they've got other things going on, well, now you're down to 11 grid fields. So this way it ensures that we have full grids every week. And for the most part, we do. And this looks to be like another one of those series that's going to be pretty full. I think only one person for this particular week didn't make the cut. We had 7 open spots, and it was KG that missed the cut by a few tenths of a second from making the grid. So when you're on the cut score, you're definitely watching times and wondering if you have to get back out on track. So it's interesting to watch.
Yeah, you definitely want to get short on fuel.
Yeah, you got to get in the lobby early, burn off some fuel because the cars are definitely faster on the lighter fuel loads. So, but no, it was a good race. I was really happy with the turnout. I think it's going to be a fun season.
Yeah, I do too. I think it's going to be a winner. I think the difference in formats between the Tuesday night and the Wednesday night are a good thing. I like how we're going to have the qualifying changed up here. So,
yep, that'll get announced next week. So
yeah,
after the week 2 race. So
yeah, looking forward to the future.
Yep.
Okay, buddy, we're going to call it a night.
Sounds good.
All right. Thanks, everyone.
Good night.